From the jam room in Andross's kitchen, we have the PAL Awards. And here are your hosts,
Andross and Micah. Whoa, we're here. Welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 70. It is the second annual PAL Awards, and we have an extra special show tonight with plenty of special guests coming in. And, you know, it's a celebration of Nintendo, and here we are with that. And so, let's talk all that and more. I am standing this week so I can dance extra dancing for the intro music. I am Andross, as we already announced as part of the whole preamble there, and I am joined by my co-host and fellow Nintendo pal, Micah.
Yep.
Micah, are you excited for the PAL Awards?
Oh, I'm pumped.
Oh man, we dressed fancy for the occasion, y'all. So, if you haven't already converted to checking out the video version of the podcast, now's a good time. You want to see some slick suit coats? Boom, we got you covered. We're like a Nintendo Direct, complete with t-shirt and suit coat combo by Micah. I've got a tie.
The best combo.
Yeah, man. The Groose is truly loose, as $2 Hero says in chat. Yes. Oh, it is a time. But before we start into our show, Micah, how the heck are you?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. Me too. I'm doing pretty good. We're running a little late tonight. There was actually a lot of prep that went into tonight's episode, and we had some very... I'll talk about it as we go through the show, but we have some very late entries to the mix. It is my own fault. I put out a call today. I was like, hey, any last minute people want to help out with this thing? And we had people respond, and they're like, yeah. And so I got some video clips like literally an hour before the show started and compiled those in. Got it all in. It looks great. Every single cameo you're going to see tonight was fantastic. So, Micah, do you want to explain what the PAL Awards are? And this is our second year doing this.
Yeah, it's the only video game award show you really need to watch, essentially.
That's true. Because this award show is community-driven. It is driven by the votes of the community, by the votes of the people. We don't got no video game critics coming in here and making decisions for us. This is the people. Democracy rules here at the PAL Awards.
And we very rarely veto the community's decisions and put our own thoughts.
Very rarely. We've never done that. That would be.
You've never done that.
Blasphemous. Oh no! Did you mess with the votes this year? We're about to find out.
Metroid won everything.
Everything. Metroid won everything. Oh man. Well, Micah, let's just jump right into the reading of the different awards. First up, we have... I guess maybe... Hold on. Taking 3 steps back here. I'm way too ahead of myself. Each category we put out for vote. It's up live for voting for a few weeks. It was up for like 3 weeks. Each category has multiple nominees, and we've got categories ranging from Best Nintendo Gizmo to Game of the Year. Everything was open nomination, so anybody could pitch in and say, hey, I think this should be added. However, for Game of the Year and for some of our bigger categories, we did say that 2 people have to nominate it in order for it to be hit into the running. Does that make sense? So Game of the Year didn't end up being
a list. No one has
to
second the motion.
Game of the Year didn't end up being a list. It's like 30 games long, because everybody has their own favorite Game of the Year. Yeah. So let's get started, Micah. First off, we have the biggest disappointment of 2021. You want to read off the nominees for that one?
Yes, we have Advanced Wars Reboot Camp being delayed, the NSO expansion pack, Mario 35 being pulled from the eShop and its support ending, the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition.
Just the whole game.
So buggy. Balan Underworld, and the lack of Zelda 35th anniversary celebrations.
Man, all of these things were pretty disappointing, I'd say. The GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition was so bad, unfortunately. Balan
The
Wonderworld.
worst rated game I've ever seen, Brett.
Balan Wonderworld, I don't know what people were expecting. I was expecting that to be bad. They're like, from the team, the imagination behind Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, oh, well, no.
Wow.
Shade thrown at Sonic. Listen, this is a Nintendo show, not a Sega show. We don't have to support Sonic here. Micah, what's your personal biggest disappointment this year out of these?
Probably the Mario 35 being pulled.
Yeah, I'd say either that or the lack of 35th celebration from Zelda.
Yeah, those are my two. Because I mean, the 35, it just didn't really seem necessary. Seemed like they could just left it on there and let us keep playing, but
yeah,
I don't know what sort of server requirements are needed for that.
Well, the community has spoken, and I have here in our very official biggest disappointment envelope the winner of biggest disappointment for 2021, or should we say the loser? It's the biggest disappointment of 2021, and that is Mario 35 being pulled from the eShop and support ending. A lot of people were bummed for it. This one took this category far and away.
Oh yeah,
it was rough. I'm bummed. I loved that game. I thought it was a great time.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess I forgot to mention my own personal biggest disappointment was no Metroid Prime 4 news.
Yeah. That's always a big disappointment, but you know it has its chance to come back in the most anticipated category, which is I think new this year. I don't know if we did that last year because it was in the Game Awards and I thought it was such a silly award, but I love it, so I'm putting it in. Like most anticipated, Elden Ring won 2 years in a row. Hey, Elden Ring wasn't even on the list here. That's not a Nintendo game yet. They haven't announced it for Nintendo platforms, and why are people excited for that? It's Dark Souls. Again.
I feel like you shouldn't be able to be on the most anticipated list 2 years running.
That's true.
No,
I think that'll be a fun game. I don't mean to smack on everybody that's like really looking forward to that game, but there are other games on that list that I am anticipating far, far more than Elden Ring. We'll get to it. But first, we have another award here, and that is Best Story, and that is being presented by Nintendo Dad's Justin Masson.
Hey folks, what is going on? Justin Masson here with Nintendo Dads on the Nintendo Pals channel, and it is the awards for video games. I can't say video game awards because Jeff Keighley might sue me, who knows, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to reveal the winner of Best Story. And ladies and gentlemen, drumroll, it is Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, winner of Best Story for 2021 Nintendo Pals awards. Congratulations. What a tremendous game. I had a great time playing it, and one of my favorite memories of it, this is crazy, actually involves Andros. And it's the fact that the week that it came out, or 2 weeks afterwards, I was unavailable to be on the show. So Andros jumped in as a host on the Nintendo Dad show and chatted about it and shared how much he loved this game. And man, it was just so exciting to hear his energy and his passion and his heart for this game. So wow, what a fantastic memory for me. I know that Andros really loved the game as well. So big congratulations to Skyward Sword HD as the winner of the Nintendo Pals Best Story 2021. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow. Justin, thank you so much for that read off and for coming up onto the virtual stage to open the envelope for the Best Story. Skyward Sword HD coming in after, what I'd say is an underdog of a Zelda game, Micah.
For what is supposedly like the worst Zelda game.
Yeah, Best Story. And I'd say this is one of the best stories in all the series. Yeah. It's funny because Justin played quite a bit of that game and didn't really get a chance to talk about it because he was not on the show or on their podcast, but I had forgotten until he sent that in that I was a guest on the Nintendo Dads right after that, and I was pumped. I was so into it. I still need to go back and finish the HD version. Yeah. It's a great game. Fantastic. HD is the definitive way to play it. All right, Micah. I think next up is Best Adventure Game, as shown here on the stage. Do you like my virtual stage I made? It's like,
that's very nice.
Yeah, it's default font on the video editor that I use, so it's great.
It's a very classy font.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. I think black and white, just with that contrast, is very nice. Okay, you just want to read off the Best Adventure, Best Adventure nominees.
Yeah, the nominees are Metroid Dread, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Monster Hunter Stories, Wings of Ruin, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Spelunky 2, and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Ooh, all of these are fantastic nominees, but let's see what the community voted. Actually, Micah, do you want to give your pitch? What do you think is Best Adventure Game here?
Well, obviously the best adventure game is Metroid Dread.
Yeah, for me, I don't know if I classify Metroid Dread as an adventure game in my mind. I know it does classify. It won the Game Awards Best Adventure Game, I believe, and for me, that just always will be taken by Zelda. So if there's a Zelda game on the list, it's like, yeah, that's the adventure game. You're going out and explore. $2 here says Balan Wonderworld's been snubbed Best Adventure Game. Yeah, it really was. Need those nominations to come next year for Balan Wonderworld. Well, for its sequel, Balan Wonderworld 2. Balan Fun World is the sequel to Balan Wonderworld. Alrighty.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting hired on their naming job or whatever.
I don't think they have money to hire me on. Well, let's come to Best Adventure Game as voted by the community here. We've got our nice envelope here. Best Adventure goes to Metroid Dread.
The only correct answer. I'm very disappointed in everyone who voted otherwise.
What was this category close? Do you remember? I don't have the votes up in front of me.
I don't. I could get it up pretty quick. Best Adventure.
I have so many tabs and things open to get this all functioning the way it's supposed to that I don't even want to try and open it to check.
The closest was behind that was Super Mario 3D World.
Okay.
And then everything else was less than half.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Metroid Dread, best adventure that you could have in 2021. So moving into our next category, we have Best Multiplayer. And for Best Multiplayer, I am pleased to welcome to the stage the Johniibo.
Johniibo, the biggest Nintendo fan on the internet. I want to thank the Nintendo Pals for allowing me to announce the winner of the Best Multiplayer Game for 2021, and that is Mario Party Superstars, which is the correct choice. I love this game. Check it out.
Let's go. Let's go. Mario Party Superstars is the winner for Best Multiplayer. And in the running with that, I guess we should read off the nominees. I've been just going. This show is as fluid as my planning up to recording it.
These words you're saying.
Yeah. So in the running as well, we had Jackbox Party Pack 8, Mario Golf, Monster Hunter Rise, and Pokemon Unite. Monster Hunter Rise was in a close second place in this one, but Mario Party Superstars just won it out. And Mario Party Superstars is the best Mario Party, in my opinion.
Mario Party, just the classic multiplayer game.
It really is. And this is the classic boards with the classic mini games, all in a nice HD package. I think it lives so perfectly next to Super Mario Party. They both go a different direction with the series, and both are directions I like. And they are not the directions of Mario Party 9 and 10 on the Wii and Wii U. That's that. They U-turned and then split this way. I would be really happy, honestly, with a Super Mario Party 2 and Mario Party Superstars 2. Like, let's just continue the sequels from here, you know?
Some nice reboots.
Yep.
Numbers are getting too high anyways.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do after 10? You can't say Mario Party 11. Like, come on. Awesome. Thank you so much, Johniibo, for coming on to read that. Johniibo is a co-host on the Nintendo Powercast with our buddy N64 Josh, and he is on the Halo Infinite podcast. He also is on TikTok. That's where things are hopping for Johniibo. So if you're on TikTok, check out Johniibo. Great videos. He's quite famous over there. He needs to teach us what to do so we can also become quite famous. So Micah, next award is Best Ongoing. I'll read the nominees this time if you'd like, and yeah, I'll do that. Best Ongoing, we've got Fortnite, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Apex Legends, Super Smash Bros., and Tetris 99. All of which had strong years this year. I mean, Apex Legends launched this year on Switch. Fortnite launched Chapter 3, also started several new seasons this last year. Smash Bros. Wrapped up their final DLC with a killer end. And Tetris 99, those Maximus Cups just come every major release with a new theme. I mean, it is holding steady, and I'm not good at it. That's still not good at it. And I'm not going to give personal picks for this one. I think we'll just jump to the community vote, which we have here in this envelope with a man running on it. Ongoing. I didn't know what else, but okay. Best ongoing game, as voted by the Nintendo Pals community. The PAL Award winner is Animal Crossing New Horizons. Yeah. This was a fantastic year for Animal Crossing New Horizons fans. Like that major update, free DLC, and then on top of that, the paid DLC. It's never ending, man. Animal Crossing will never end, except it did end. They're not doing any more DLC.
Over.
But there's so many new things to discover between those two updates that I think it will be... I won't finish it in time for the next game in the series. Micah, this is your first Animal Crossing game, right?
It is. I mean, it surpassed my expectations.
It's good. It's very good.
So, and let's be honest, the premise sounds kind of the worst.
Let's do chores and pay off home loans.
Yeah.
Sounds. At least they make it fun, you know. Real life, not so fun.
Nope.
Well, Micah, with that Best Ongoing award, let's get on going to the next award here. And that is Best Co-op. And for Best Co-op, we have the following nominees. Do you want to read those off?
Yeah, I can take these. Monster Hunter Rise, Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Spelunky 2, Rogue Heroes, Ruins of Tassos, Overcooked, All You Can Eat, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrected, and WarioWare Get It Together.
Man, there's a lot on this list. There's a ton. Of these, I think probably The two I played most are 3D World plus Bowser's Fury and Spelunky 2.
Yeah, I believe, only played one of these, and that was Spelunky 2. But
Oh,
I
I did play a lot of WarioWare co-op as well, actually. This is a tough one. Well, let's see what the community voted for best co-op, and we have special guest to read that one off. So please welcome to the stage, Sean Capri.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri, and I'm here to tell you 3 things. Number 1, I've got a coffee from McDonald's. Number 2, I also have a Diet Coke, also from McDonald's. And number 3, and probably most important, the winner of the best co-op game of 2021 here on the Nintendo Pals Game of the Year celebration is none other than Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I completely agree with this choice. Congratulations to Nintendo for winning this game on the Nintendo Pals Game of the Year awards. But also congratulations to a very, very close runner-up, Monster Hunter Rise. Thank you, Micah, and thank you, Andros, for having me be a part of this. This is super awesome, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. Congratulations, Super Mario 3D World. Why haven't you guys played it yet? Play it now. Go.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for coming on and for really pushing that McDonald's sponsorship you got going there, Sean Capri. Special cameo by Diet Coke. Thanks for that. Wonder if it was actually Diet Coke. You know, I don't think they actually check when they fill them up at the drive-thrus. There's like
they just see a Coke button.
like,
Sure.
Yep. They throw that out. There you go, Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Micah, you did not pick this one up because you have the Wii U version, and you didn't feel like it was quite enough of a pull to pick it up.
I was still quite tempted though, because it was very nice for them to add an online play.
That online play works very well too. Yeah, I have played. So I played through the entire game co-op with my wife, and then also played through almost the entire game co-op with my son as well. And then we also played online with my brother. And all experiences with that were great. 4-player co-op. It's a fantastic family game. If you have not picked this one up, there are many, Sean being one of these many, that say this is the greatest Mario game of all time. It blends the 3D elements very nicely with the 2D style levels of Mario in a way that just works so nicely. So, that was Best Co-op Game. Thank you to our friend Sean Capri for coming on to read that one off. Next up, we have Best Free to Play. Best Free to Play. And in the running for Best Free to Play, we have Fortnite, Pokemon Unite, Apex Legends, Pac-Man 99, Knockout City, Sky Children of the Light, Super Animal Royale. Those were all games that came out this year, sort of. Fortnite, sort of. Well, I mean, Apex Legends, sort of. I mean, it came to Switch this year. Fortnite had a new season, a new chapter launched this year on Switch. Pokemon Unite launched this year. Man, there were a lot of free-to-play games that launched this year. Now, we're looking at this whole list. And there's a lot of solid ones up here. There's a solid list of free-to-play games. But what is the best free-to-play game according to the Nintendo Pals community? I have it right here in this very pretty envelope. It's a very flowery envelope. Free-to-play. Oh, it says I have to pay gems to open it. No. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right, the best free-to-play is Fortnite! Oh! Listen, you naysayers to Fortnite. It's a fantastic game. I love it. Okay? I've
put in too many hours to not vote for it.
Because I get these 1,000 plus hours are going to... Hey, how much did you pay for those 1,000 plus hours? $0.
My self-respect sometimes.
My self-respect. What a great game. If
schoolwork, grades.
If you have not given this one a try because you're like, it's for kids. So people say that about Mario. People say that about Minecraft. I guess people say that about a lot of things, and it's just not true. You know what? People say that about Nintendo altogether. So listen, it's fun. It's a great game, and it's a great one to play with your kids if you got chillins that like to play. So hop on in, pick up a AR, and shoot up all of those guys with your family.
Yep.
It's I don't know where I was going with this. Listen.
That's not the way I would promote that game, but
yeah, it is.
hey.
It is the most non-violent shooter there is. I mean, because when you do, they're not even called deaths or kills. They're eliminations. When someone gets eliminated, they like turn into like a little projector thing and float away in their projector box. So it's like all a simulation. That's like the world of the game. There's actually a lot of lore. I won't go into that here.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with the lore. I don't pay that much attention.
The Rock's there now.
It's fantastic.
So, yeah, it's fantastic. Alrighty, that was best free to play. This show is just so off the rails, just like every episode of Nintendo Pals podcast. Well, speaking of off the rails, why don't we go to the next award here, which is the best non-Tendo. Best non-Tendo. And best non-Tendo goes to the best video game that was not on a Nintendo platform. So this is the ones that were like, why didn't you put this over here on the Switch, you big meanies? No, it's the games that haven't made it over here yet, or probably won't ever make it.
Well, I think a couple of these very low likelihood.
Yeah. Games that came out this last year. Micah, you want to read off the nominations for this one?
Sure. First is It Takes Two. Then we got Valheim.
It takes two to make a thing go round. Yeah. Valheim is so good. I love Valheim.
Oh yeah, Valheim's a blast. And until you get killed by a stupid troll and it just sits on your loot. You can never get it.
That's true.
Then Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and Halo Infinite.
Oh boy. Quite the contender list here. Well, we have special guest Bill to come and read off best Nintendo game. Bill, take it.
Hey everybody, Bill here from the Nerd Nest, and this year's Nintendo Game of the Year is It Takes Two.
Not a huge surprise here. It Takes Two won Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year, and
It's apparently pretty good, I guess.
People love it, man. It's a interesting story, narrative, and fun co-op game. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
We haven't tried it yet. At least I haven't.
Listen, we're the Nintendo pals. We're not the It Takes Two pals. It Takes Two pals.
Hey,
We
that's
do
not
have two
too
pals
bad of a
here.
game.
Yeah, wait a second. Spin-off series starting. Oh, big thanks to Bill from Nerd Nest coming on to read that off. Bill does Games with Bill, which is a recent conversion from Switchcraft, if you're familiar with that podcast. And he talks all sorts of video games and just has, one of the best voices out there. Got to have Bill on a show like this because he's got the good mic. He's got the voice. And the look and the room, you guys saw he's got like he does a good show. He does a good show. I don't know where I was going with this one either. Man, tonight it's the suit coat. I'm warm, not so much oxygen getting to my head.
So
with
it's
this tie.
restricting the blood flow as well. So.
Yeah, the tie is restricting the blood flow. That's the blood flow to my brain. Oh gosh. Well, speaking of restricting blood flow to my brain, let's get to our next category here and talk Best Fitness Game. That's right, Best Fitness Game. This is a fun category. Last year, I believe Ring Fit won even though Ring Fit came out the year before, because they had the expansion come out with like the dance game that won last year's award. And this year there weren't as many active games to come out. But let me just shout out that Ring Fit is in the top 10 best-selling Switch games of all time for Nintendo. That's pretty dang good for a fitness game. Let me say that. So fitness has a spot in our hearts for our heart health. And here are the nominees for this year's Active Life Outdoor Challenge, Just Dance 2022. You did not mishear that. 2022 comes out in 2021, and in 2021 came out. It's like Cars. Like, you know, they come out a year before. And you're like, I don't get
sports games.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah. Confusing. Animal Crossing New Horizons Stretching. Specifically the Stretching DLC that was added. And Knockout Home Fitness, which was just recently added to the Switch library. Of all these, I have only played Animal Crossing New Horizons Stretching.
I have technically done the New Horizons Stretching, but I did it with a controller.
I played Just Dance 2021. My son got that for Christmas.
What's the difference, though?
There's some new songs. Other than that, it's the same. Like, they have a subscription service now. I don't know if you knew that. You pay a yearly subscription, and you get access to, like, all the songs that have ever been in Just Dance. And that's not 100% true, but, like, most of the songs. It's so many songs and dances. Yeah, there you go. So you buy the latest one, and you get all the old ones, too. So you don't look at the old ones unless they're on, like, a really good sale, I guess. Yeah.
I can't bring myself to play Just Dance in front of people.
You play it by yourself?
I think I could probably give it a try. I don't know how much I would enjoy it. But
we'll get you a copy for your closet. You can like play it in your closet.
We just need us like a little shower curtain thing box that I can go into.
Oh yeah. No.
It's just
no. You're onto something here. It's just in your shower. There's like a box that keeps your Switch dry, and you just play in the shower.
Sounds like it might be a little dangerous.
Oh, you gotta! Whoa, you slip on some soap. he died dancing. It was a happy death. Okay, well, let's move on to the opening of the envelope here. I have it here with this absolutely amazing self-portrait I drew. You can't really see it.
Self-portrait.
Yeah. When I take the suit coat off, it's all muscle under there. Like, this arm is just so thick. Okay. The winner is Animal Crossing New Horizons Stretching. Let's go.
I can't believe it. Not only did it win, I'm pretty sure it just dominated.
It did. It got a ton of votes.
I'm pretty sure it's more than everything else put together.
I think it was one of the most voted for things on all the awards, which really makes me happy. We have a fantastic community here. Thanks to everybody who participated in the voting. Which I do gotta say that the voting was far beyond what we had last year. I mean, our audience has grown significantly, but there was so much participation and so much so much more to do with this, and it's really cool. It's really cool. What's next?
We had to look at the stats again. Yeah, the stretching got more than the other three put together times 3.
Whoa! It was a weak year for fitness games. Everybody's still playing Ring Fit, you know?
Plus, I mean, that it's just the perfect warm up or cool down.
It is, and it gets a little more intense than a warm up, I'd say. With it has you doing like just straight jumping jacks at certain points. It's like this isn't a warm up. I mean, it probably is a warm up for a regular.
Anytime my feet leave the ground, we've gone past.
Yeah, we're past
If both
warm-up stage.
feet leave the ground at the same time, essentially. We're not warming up anymore.
It's the real
We're
game
working
now.
out.
Oh man. That is great. I do gotta say shout out to everybody here that is in chat. We see your chats, so feel free to pitch in your thoughts as we pop into the next category here, which is best puzzle game. What do we got for best puzzle game? You want to read off those nominees?
Yes. Got lost for a second. We got Tetris Effect Connected, Pokemon Cafe Remix, Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. I struggle to read that every time. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and The Longing.
Wait, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine was on here? What? I don't
Hey,
remember putting
it
that.
better have won. It's the best puzzle game.
Oh man, that's I mean, that's a list.
I was so close to saying Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brian. So close.
It does, especially when there's two brains next to each other. They do morph into Brian Brain. Oh. Alrighty, well, to read off the best puzzle game, we have the puzzle master himself. That is Jesse Waldack from the Nintendo Dads coming in.
Greetings, I'm Jesse from the Nintendo Dads. I'd like to thank the Nintendo Pals for allowing me to announce the winner of the best Nintendo puzzle game as voted on by their community. Puzzle games are one of my favorite genres that includes various Picross games, Minesweeper-likes, escape room games, and other games that relies on logic more than fast response times. The winner of the PAL Award for Best Puzzle Game is... Open virtual until appear. Oh, was I not supposed to read that?
Next level.
Tetris Effect.
Hey!
Thanks again for having me on, and I'll talk to you all later.
That was awesome, man. He went all out with his opening up a virtual envelope. Man, that's pretty cool. Tetris Effect.
I'm a little disappointed Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine didn't win. That was my puzzle game of the year.
I am a little disappointed because in close second was The Longing, and I had such a fun time with our community this last year playing The Longing. We had a good group of us that were playing, and then also a group that wasn't playing but was vicariously playing through the
Yeah,
group.
I lived through the game.
Oh, it was so fun.
By just
That was
reading all the chat.
That was the best community puzzle solving game I think I have ever experienced, because we were all coming together collaboratively to go, hey, what did you do to do this, to do that? And everybody's working together. We unlocked things I don't think a lot of other people that played the game will ever see, because they didn't have a team effort all working on it. It was really cool. It's fantastic. So in my heart, The Longing wins an award for best community game.
Well, we should have put that as a group, yo.
Like we should have had that as a category.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. Best community game. I don't think anything's going to top The Longing. That was like the most active Discord channel we have ever had.
By far.
So funny for just this small indie game. Shout out to the Longing crew. You guys are the real MVPs. Next up, we're talking best role-playing game. Alrighty, best RPG. The nominees for best RPG this year are Bravely Default 2, Atelier 3, Legends of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Miitopia, and Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin.
I think I know which one you voted for.
Miitopia comes up here. It's like, one of these things is not like the other. That's...
For real, though. All these are, like, great stories, like, serious gameplay, and Miitopia's like, we're just doing stuff.
Hey, it's a great story, too. It's something.
It's great in a different way.
That's very, very true. Mike, I I made sure to label this envelope very clearly RPG. So I won't mix this one up. This is the best RPG. As voted by the Nintendo Pals community, best RPG of 2021 is Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. Congratulations to Monster Hunter Stories 2, which it is well-deserved. Monster Hunter had a killer year on Switch with the launch of Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories in the same year. Like, let's go. Capcom really killing it on the Switch. And by killing it, I mean them monsters. They're getting them monsters. Except in this game, you're not killing the monsters. You're friending them, and they're like Pokemon. So there you go.
You're killing the people that want to kill the monsters or something. I don't actually know. I have not really played it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I played like anything on this list except for Miitopia.
Yeah,
I'm not a real RPG fan, I guess. It's their time commitments, you know. I don't think if you played
the problem.
If you played and finished everything on this list, you are awesome. And you have a lot more free time than I do. That's all I have to say about that. Thanks so much to the community for voting here. Monster Hunter Stories 2. Let's go. Alrighty, what is next? Best soundtrack. I believe that's the next award we have coming up. Best soundtrack. There were some fantastic soundtracks that came from games this year. Let's just run through the nominees. You want to run through the nominees for this? Actually, I'll run through the nominees for this one. You do the next one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Am I saying Pokemon right? That's not right.
Maybe not, but
Pokemon.
That's practically how I say it.
Pokemon. I say Pokemon. I know that's wrong. I know it's wrong.
Some people say Pokemon.
But you know what? Oh well. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond.
Pokemon.
Pocket Monsters. Pocket Monsters, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, with a fantastic soundtrack. The original soundtrack is really good, and this was just a remaster of that soundtrack. If you like jazz, you will like this soundtrack. WarioWare Get It Together. The Penny Scientist song. Classy song. Tetris Effect Connected. Oh gosh, yeah, that's a good soundtrack too. Dang. Miitopia actually has a really good soundtrack.
Do any of these not have good soundtracks?
I'm just like looking at this list and going like, oh, is there a clear winner? No, there's not. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. A fantastic soundtrack for a Zelda game. This was the first time that they introduced orchestral music to the series. So, to go off the best soundtrack, we have our buddy Dan coming in to the Nintendo Pals stage. Welcome. Welcome. Come
hey
on
guys, Dan here from RetroLogic. I'm so pleased to be able to announce the winner of Best Soundtrack of Nintendo Switch game, or just Nintendo game, of 2021 for the Nintendo Pals. Yeah, super fun. So glad to be doing this. Soundtracks are some of just my favorite parts of video games. They can be really emotional, but they can kind of draw you in. So yeah, really hyped to be announcing this. And the winner of Best Soundtrack of 2021 goes to none other than one of my personal favorite games of the year, Skyward Sword HD. Woo!
Hey!
Just the overworld theme, fully orchestrated alone, flying in your loft wing, makes this game deserve Best Soundtrack of the year. But just through and through, this game paints a story with its music, with its art style. And so, yeah, just wanted to say that I love this game. I'm so glad that it won. Thank you, Nintendo Pals, for letting me announce this, and stay sassy.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Dan, for coming on and announcing best soundtrack. I had to throw in some music in there with his edit because it's just such a good soundtrack. I mean, I felt like if we have the best soundtrack coming in, we have to play some music from it, right? Like,
For sure.
I
mean, what Zelda game doesn't have a great soundtrack?
I almost threw in a full musical performance, actually, but I was convinced to do otherwise because it would have been spoilers. So, no musical performance this year. Next year, we will get KK Slider to come on here live. He'll be playing for us. DJ KK, let's go. Nintendo Pal Awards number 3. Last year we did this award show. You and I were in person, actually.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? And next year we might actually be in person again. I think you're planning on coming out this direction.
Chance, yeah.
At that point, we'll
to make it a yearly thing.
Yeah, at that point we'll
Except
be.
next time you have to come visit me.
Okay, the year after that. Not sure I can commit to that currently, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Best soundtrack, Skyward Sword HD. Fantastic game. I can't even begin to add to what Dan already said with the awards, with giving the award, that it paints a picture with the visuals, that it ties in with the game so beautifully. I mean, there's a reason it won Best Story. Music is part of that story. That's for sure. Skyward Sword taking home the awards tonight.
Still got that like 25th anniversary orchestral CD.
Oh yeah, that came with it
from the original.
Yeah. So the song clips that we're playing were the orchestral. It was the credits to the game. They were snippets from the credits. Oh, such a fantastic soundtrack. Go give it a listen. Go give it a listen if you haven't already. Alrighty. Next up, we have most anticipated game of 2021. So what are you anticipating most? It's not out yet. It's coming. And Micah, you can read off the nominees for this one. Go for it.
We got Metroid Prime 4.
Oh yeah,
definitely gonna win. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, not trying to give spoilers, but maybe if it wasn't for this next nomination, the sequel to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I know a lot of people are pretty excited about that. Splatoon 3, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, TMNT: Shredder's Revenge, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
I am so pumped for every single one of these.
All of
games,
these,
man.
yeah.
Like
all of these are going to be so good.
and it's looking like almost all of these are coming next year, minus Prime 4. Hopefully next year. But
hopefully next year, a trailer.
Oh man, can I say, Micah, that this was the most voted category in all of our votes in every category we had on the voting polls. What are those called? On the polls. This one had the most votes. So let's see what the community decided was the most anticipated game of, and it says 2022 please on the envelope, like please come at that time. Alrighty. The most anticipated game award goes to the sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Surprising no one.
Yeah, not surprised.
I'm so pumped for that game, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fantastic time. This award, I think, is so funny because it's an award for a game that's not out yet.
It could be coming out in like 7 years. They could delay this forever.
What if the game is just terrible as well?
Like, yeah, this hasn't been going the way we want it to, so we're just going to have to start over from scratch.
Oh, please don't do that to
Yeah, give it to Retro. Now have them make the next.
No, stop. You stop. You get out of here. Don't put that evil on us here. Okay? All right, let's move on before Micah curses this stuff anymore. Most anticipated, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2, which doesn't have a title even still. It's still the sequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. The longest mouthful of things to say. Alrighty. Next up, we have the best Nintendo Gizmo. And the nominees for Best Nintendo Gizmo are The Legend of Zelda Game & Watch, Lego Luigi, Lego Question Block, and Game Builder Garage. And coming in to read the winner of Best Nintendo Gizmo, we have our friend N64 Josh from the Nintendo Powercast. And he's coming up on the stage now. He's back here. He's coming. He's on.
And the winner for the Best Nintendo Gizmo for 2021 is The Legend of Zelda Game & Watch.
And of course he has one on hand, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what a good...
It's so cool, though.
It is so cool. So, funny story here is Josh was actually one of the last people to get me a video. That's why this is towards the tail end of the awards. You can see on the clock it says 3 o'clock. That's what time he sent it to me today, which is 6 o'clock my time. So nice of him to do that, though. Thank you, Josh, for coming on and for reading that off and for having that handy. Man, Best Nintendo Gizmo. Nintendo always has, like, what I love is that this category exists. That Nintendo has physical, cool goods that come out every year that you can go, oh, that's pretty neat. I almost put the OLED on here, but I feel like that was kind of unfair. It's not really a gizmo. It's a console.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good time.
Yeah, and all these things are just so cool.
Already, speaking of so cool, we have the Best Nintendo event. And here to read off the nominees and the winner is the legendary Timothy Off.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tim from the Nintendo Dads coming at you with a Nintendo Pals Award for Best Nintendo Event of 2021. The nominees for this year is February 17th Nintendo Direct, the June 15th E3 2020 Direct, August 18th Pokemon Presents event, September 23rd Nintendo Direct, and the October Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct. Now, the Nintendo Pals said that they never had a tie before. So one of the things that they mentioned was, hey, Tim, if you want, you can give the award to whichever one you feel should win. So I had to go back and look at each one.
To clarify, there was a tie, and he's deciding the tiebreaker here. He's not going to just pick one that wasn't even in the
It's a random.
lead. Yeah.
The least voted.
In order to do
upset.
that. So I don't know about you guys, but what I was thinking was because of between the two, if you got the Nintendo Direct E3, hello, Metroid Dread was announced in that one. So I'm going to have to give it to that one.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of the September one. Yeah, I know there's Bayonetta 3 that we got to see towards the end there. And we got to see all kinds of other stuff in the September one. But when you come back to the June E3 one, and we got to see the announcement of Dread here, as I'm getting to, just that whole announcement. And if you go back and see my reaction and anybody else's reaction, including the Nintendo Pals, this reaction blew a lot of people's minds. And this is why I believe this should be the winner of the Nintendo Pals Best Nintendo Event of 2021. Of course, they can overrule me because this is their show, but that's your winner. Thanks, guys.
All right, Tim has spoken, and we're keeping that in the lock here. So Nintendo E3 for 2021 won this presentation, edging out the September Direct by just a smidgen. You know, if the September Direct had the announcements that they announced would be coming in presentations that same month, namely the Animal Crossing Direct and the Sakurai Presents, then I think it would have won. That would have won for sure. But because those were announced as like separate announcements in there for after, I think the E3 does edge it out just a bit. Some solid
Plus
games announced at E3 this year.
Metroid Dread. Like the greatest announcement
It was
I've
really
ever
good.
heard from Nintendo.
It was really good. The September one did have the movie cast, though.
Yeah, that was pretty great
That
too.
was pretty good. Man, so good. Alrighty. Tim, thank you so much for coming on, and thanks to the whole Nintendo Dads crew for making guest appearances here tonight on the PAL Awards. Appreciate that. We didn't get Marty in. He's a very busy guy, but next year we'll have Marty in. Don't worry. Alrighty. Next up, we have Best Nintendo YouTuber. Michael, we're getting close to the end here of our awards. So, Best Nintendo YouTuber. This is a hard category for me. Last year, it was Best Nintendo Content Creator, and decided to switch that up because we were really only focused on YouTubers. Because Best Streamer, it's so difficult to define who is a Nintendo streamer. Because there are so many big streamers for Nintendo-specific games, but I don't know. It's a tough call to make. So this year we focused entirely on YouTube channels. I'll read off the nominees. We have Scott the Woz, Beat 'em Ups, Arlo, Nintendo Life, Nintendrew, Ant Dude, and Video Game Donkey.
And to be considerate to them, we didn't put ourselves in the
Right,
running. 'Cause obviously, we would have won.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. LPD does say no one else mowed their lawn on stream, and it's true. I mean, if we were in here, it would be just an unfair. We can't. Would it be weird to have a show where we give ourselves an award? That'd be Best Nintendo Podcast of 2021.
Oh, well, what are the odds?
Oh, we won again! How did we do that? Whoa!
Every year.
Oh man! But out of the nominees that did make the cut, we have here in the Best YouTuber envelope, the winner is Nintendo Life. Let's go. Let's hear it for Nintendo Life. Thank you. Thank you for making videos. Nintendo Life definitely deserves a win here. They do fantastic jobs with their reviews. Their more casual vlog type content. They have really great discussion videos. It's really tag teamed by 3 people. They have Xeon, John, and Alex are the other 3 guys. Alex being like the main guy, and I think Xeon and John came. John just came on this last year, so that put him over the edge over Scott the Woz. They beat him out as Best Nintendo YouTuber. Sorry, Scott, but I don't think he needs our award. He got his own television show this year, so he's doing well for himself. This is what happens when you win Best Nintendo Content Creator Award. You go on to become like a television star. So maybe we should be putting ourselves on this list, actually, now that I think about it. Well, with that, Nintendo Life, thanks for being yourselves and making awesome videos. Now, let's move on. We have 2 awards left. These are the biggies. The biggies, as they say. And first off, I think Best Indie is one of the bigger awards to talk about, especially for the Nintendo Switch, because it's an indie game machine, right? Like everything is coming to the Switch as far as indie games go. And Micah, do you want to read off the nominees for Best Indie Game for 2021? It's a long list this year.
Yeah, got quite a few. They're all short names, though. Relatively short.
Yeah.
We got Spelunky 2, Death's Door, Loop Hero, Eastward, Cyber Shadow, Cathedral, Dicey Dungeons, and The Longing.
Oh, The Longing made it onto the list. Oh, yeah, Longing's gonna win.
There's still a chance it could win something.
Alrighty, and here to talk best indie game, we have our good pal from our sister brother podcast, the All In podcast, Mr. Seth, making his way onto the stage. He's also in chat. Hey,
What's
welcome.
going on, Andros and Micah and all of my other Nintendo pals out there? It's your boy Seth from All In, a Nintendo podcast. Kind of sickly, a little under the weather. Apologies for how gross my voice probably sounds. But I am thrilled to be delivering and revealing the prestigious PAL Award for Best Indie Game. That award goes to Spelunky 2. I dressed appropriately, man. Spelunky 2.
Yeah, it's
We love Spelunky here, and very deserving award. What could possibly go wrong? Oh God, not again.
Oh, and it looks like we lost connection there with Seth. Don't worry, he'll be back. He'll be back. He just responds at the beginning. We'll start the show over. He'll come back at the end. Fantastic. Spelunky 2 coming in. Barely beating out Death's Door, actually. Death's Door came in and took the world by storm this last little bit. What more can be said here, Micah? Both of us have well over 100 hours into Spelunky 2.
We play the game way too much for how quickly we played it.
Yeah, and how short of a time span we hit that, like 100-something hours, right? Man. All right, Micah. Well, big shout out and thanks to Seth from All In coming on to read off the best indie game. If you want to hear some fantastic indie showcases that focus on indie games like Spelunky 2, check out All In Podcast. They do that regularly, an indie showcase. So, yeah, it's real cool segments. I have found some sweet games over listening to that show. Alrighty. Transition. That's what I'm just going to say. Transition. Hey, we're here at the very end of the show, and that is, we're inserting slightly with a break in the show here. Man, so everybody, take a drink of water. Give yourself a pat on the back. You've made it to this far in the show. A shorter episode tonight, but it might get long because we're about to talk before we talk Game of the Year winner, which I've got a big envelope right here. Let me say that it is a huge envelope. So it must be a big game. You know what I'm saying? This envelope is big enough I could just put the game in, like the whole plastic casing for the game. If I have it, maybe I don't have it. Who knows who won? All right.
That would have been a great idea.
It would have been a very good idea. I still could. But, Micah, right now, you and I are going to give the offshoot awards, which is our top 10 Nintendo games. And topping it off with the Micah's Choice Award, which is the best Nintendo Switch game, according to Micah, and the Andros Award. Micah's Choice sounds better than Andros's Choice. So just Andros Award for me. Yet Micah's Choice. They should slap that on the label of whatever game you picked, which I think I know what it is. But just slap that across. Micah's Choice. Oh.
All the greats from the GameCube era.
So, Micah... oh, gosh. I am really messing up my show setup here. Doing this. Okay.
Are we starting with our lowest?
Yeah, let's do bottom to top. What do you say?
Starting with 10, because I actually only have 8 on my list.
You only have 8 on your list, so I'll give my 10. I'll give my. Well,
it might change when you start naming things, though.
Okay, so this is our top 10 Nintendo. We also have a top 5 non-Nintendo. Should we start with that? Let's start with the top 5 non-Nintendo.
Let's do that first.
Okay. Coming in at number 5 for me is Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3.
Coming in at a number 4 for me is also Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, what was your number 5?
It's Blink.
Oh, you don't have a number 5. Micah didn't play a lot of games, apparently.
I looked back through on Steam, and in the last month, I've played 2 games.
Alrighty, well, I'll give my number 4 then, which was Grounded.
Nice. Because Grounded is actually my number 3.
Ayo! Hey, it's like we play the same games together or something.
I'm pretty sure all these games are games I've played with you, so our lists might be pretty similar.
Alrighty, my number 3 is Small World Digital Edition.
This is where we differ a little bit, kind of.
Okay.
I guess I am one ahead of you, but my number 2 is Valheim.
Really? All right. So I think we swapped our 1 and 2. My number 1 is Valheim. My number 1 is Valheim. I loved Valheim. I think Valheim is fantastic, and it should come to Switch. Like, as soon as it leaves early access, that should be the first thing they do. Like, port this thing to Switch. It's such a good game.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Gloomhaven digital version.
Yep. And my number 1 is Gloomhaven.
Yeah. Oh man, you got good taste. I say. I think your taste in games is good.
We probably could have just made one list.
We probably should have made just one list. I wonder if our 10 Nintendo ones is going to be the same. I don't think so. I played a lot more games than you this year.
Yeah.
So speaking to our number 1s, Valheim is a fantastic game. It is in early access, but it doesn't feel like it's in early access. Multiplayer drops you out. It's a survival, crafting, battling, upgrading game where you play the Nordic afterlife, and it is so fun. And you can just quite easily lose a lot of time. It is the first time in a while that I played and lost track of time and played into the wee hours of the morning.
Way too late.
Yeah. It's been good. Yeah, it's been a good time. I haven't played it much lately, but it's one I will be going back to. If it comes to Switch, it's game over for me, man. I'll be playing that all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of like Minecraft for me back in the day, where you could just spend a lot of time
and not make any progress.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, Micah, you talk to Gloomhaven since you picked it for your number 1.
Well, it's like
number 1?
It's like a real cool game, yo. But it's I don't know. It's was a board game originally, and it sold for like $200 when it first came out. I think nowadays, especially if you get on sale, you can get for like 80 to 100. I think is what it usually sells for.
No, still on the low end. It's about $120.
Ooh, I was wrong.
100,
I guess.
And I think retail suggested price is $180. I
So
got it on
suggested
the lowest price ever at $89, and that was the lowest price ever. It has not gone that low since.
Are you sure? I thought I'd seen it at 80 at one point.
I think you might be
maybe
thinking of a different game. I mean, they do have.
Maybe it was 89. So
yeah, they do have.
I just remember the 80.
They do have a smaller version of the game. You can get Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which is like, I think, the first several scenarios. It's not the full game. But just ditch that and get the digital version, because you can play online with friends. There's not the crazy amount of setup, because this is a 22-pound box we're talking here. Maybe I should go pull it off the shelf.
The digital version is real nice with how streamlined it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You talk about what you liked about this game. I'm gonna go pull it off the shelf to have a visual aid.
Show it off. Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for cooperative games, especially cooperative board games, and this is probably my favorite cooperative board game that I've ever played. It just has a lot of strategy, and you can play as a lot of different characters who all have different abilities. You use cards, top halves and bottom halves. I'm not going to go too deep into it. But there's, I think, a lot of replay value, because you can play as different characters with different abilities. You can, when you level up, you choose different abilities. So even if you play the same character, you can end up with wildly different cards. And it has, like, I think 99 scenarios or something like that. Each scenario takes like 2
I've got
hours.
it right here. This is the 22-pound box. Just kidding. This is the expansion.
It's made of lead. Everything
This
is
is
lead.
the 22-pound box here. Best fitness game is lifting board games. That's my best fitness game for the year. It is a gorgeous game as well. Fantastic art style. I think that the original art style is slightly better than the digital, but the digital's still pretty good. It keeps a lot of the same elements. But like some of the characters look a little derpy in 3D cartoon form versus their really cool painted style, you know?
And I think right now, actually, it's on sale for like $28, and it's usually $30 until like the 5th.
Yeah.
Of next year or this year, depending on where you are.
Alrighty, Micah. Now let's get into our top 10 for Nintendo games. I'll give my first 2 since you didn't have 10. You only have 8. Couldn't come up with 10.
Yeah, well, I mostly
Who's the real
thought of these
gamer
8
here?
and then I mostly forgot.
Yeah. So coming in at number 10 for me is Fortnite. I am counting it as a game that came out in 2021 because of Chapter 3.
Fortnite Chapter 3.
And the several seasons that came out. I was really into a lot of the seasons at the start of the year, and then Chapter 3 has sucked me back in so much. I am really enjoying that. Number 9, I have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. And I love that game. So you could tell it was a good year because there are 8 other games that went higher than Skyward Sword HD. I think for me the problem is I've already played Skyward Sword HD, and so going back and playing it a second time,
quite the same impact.
Exactly. I think for everybody that played it for the first time, had the impact that I had when I played it for the first time. We have people in chat. I see K9 Cantina in chat here. He was one of those that played it for the first time now, and man, I wish I could have played. I wish I could have erased my memory of the Wii version to play this version brand new again because it is that good. It is so good. You know, you ever have that? Like I sometimes wish I had that
especially
for Breath
with,
of the
like,
Wild
books.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I mean, if I could do that with Breath of the Wild, I would just like, holy cow, waste so much of my life.
The thing, my wife has that ability with books. After a certain amount of time, she's forgotten everything that happened in the story. I can't do that. I remember everything. Not everything, but I remember enough that surprises aren't going to surprise me and new stuff isn't going to like pop up. So that's where games like Breath of the Wild are really good because it's so big and vast that I find new things every time I play. It's too big to remember everything. I remember the gist of the story, but the exploring part, always going to be new. Alrighty, Mikey, you want to give your number 8?
So my number 8 is Fortnite.
Nice.
So it's also on the bottom of my list. And it's kind of the same thing as you said. This last season has kind of drawn me in, although I haven't played much in the last week, so who knows if I'll stay drawn in. I at least got to get to unlock Spider-Man.
I unlocked Spider-Man last night. I grinded levels so hard to get Spider-Man. Seriously, guys, I spent like entire matches just fishing, just out in the ocean fishing over and over and over again to get like fishing experience and junk like that. I was impatient to wait for all the experience season things. So yeah, there you go. My number 8 is Mario Party Superstars. I loved this Mario Party. I think it's the definitive Mario Party to get. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. We've already talked about it. Won Best Multiplayer. And I actually just played it this last week with my brother who got it for Christmas. He and his wife played with me and my wife, and it was a good time. We had a fun time. I won, so of course it was fun, right? That's what it's all about. It's so... Winning. Mario Party is always that game that's like, you're so angry, but you're having a good time. You know what I mean? Yeah,
It usually doesn't really matter if you win, because I mean, you all know it's just garbage.
But
wins, it's all just based on random crap.
But there's this unspoken, there's this unspoken agreement that it's still worth something, even though it's random and there's so much garbage that happens. Okay, so let's get back here to Micah. Give us your number 7, your top
I have a love-hate relationship with this game. It's kind of the worst game I've ever played in my life. But I also feel very accomplished when I do things. And then a little disappointed in myself that I spent so much time. But Jump King.
Oh, I don't know if I put Jump King on my list.
It is a terrible, terrible game that I can't actually recommend to anyone. But it scratches that itch of like, I just feel like playing something really challenging right now. I want to push myself to be better. And it usually just ends with me throwing things or something.
LPD says, but there's a super hot babe at the top. Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
all worth it, Micah?
You better believe it. There's a smoking hot babes at the top.
Jump King, y'all. Oh, what a game. My number 7 is WarioWare Get It Together, and I had such a fun time with this game. It was, my son and I were obsessed with it. We were going for the co-op high score on the Nintendo Dad's monthly Mayhem challenge, and I ended up getting the highest personal score, and I was up there with co-op. These other people that won the co-op were playing with like their spouses. I was playing with my 4-year-old. Okay,
They brought in some ringers.
So why don't you guys? You know what? We won. We won in spirit because I got a higher score than like most people did by themselves. With
That's because your son was carrying you that whole time.
Yeah, he was. He was carrying me, man. He's good at that game. What a time! WarioWare is such a fun family game. I definitely recommend picking it up. So yeah, WarioWare, get it together. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is Boomerang X.
Oh,
And it might have been a little higher if it was just a little longer.
and if it
I
didn't
had a
crash,
lot of fun with it. Yeah, only on stream though, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice, short, challenging game, very fast paced, keeps you on your toes. But just, I mean, it's pretty short. Just takes a few hours.
Yeah, in chat, we have a let's all thank Seth again for summoning WarioWare, which he did before it was announced. He was like, it feels time for WarioWare to be announced. And I think it was like next day, something like that. That guy's magic, you know? He's in the Spelunky cave right now. So he can see into the future. That's where he went.
Even how that Spelunky cave works?
I don't know. I don't know. It's magic. That's all you need to know. My number 6, we're on number 6, is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I picked up Brilliant Diamond. Fantastic game. Love the soundtrack. I'm not crazy about the art style. Some people really like it. Some don't. It doesn't bother me. But really, it's just, if you liked Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, it's an exact copy of that for a modern system, and I think it's great. Does a great job of what it's trying to do. It's nothing crazy innovative or anything like that, but you know, for what it is, I think it's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should read off my 5.
Yeah, give us your number 5. Yeah, go for it.
Number 5, Rocket League.
Okay.
That one's a classic. I'll be playing that at least every once in a while until the day I die. Maybe. We'll see. But I got a nice squad of people I like to play with, so they keep me interested.
Yeah, if you're friends with Oso in our Discord, then you will be into Rocket League at least once.
Yeah, it's always nice playing with him as well, because he just like does all these really cool things.
Yeah, you don't actually have to be very good. He'll carry you. Yeah. And the ball on his back. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, both at the same time.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's wild. My number 5 is Mario Golf Super Rush. This is a fantastic game. Listen, I know a lot of people out there that are longtime fans of the series weren't super impressed by this game, but I am new to Mario Golf, and I loved it. I thought it was really fun. I put a lot of hours into this game. They kept coming with DLC courses and characters. I think they're done with the DLC courses and characters, but they do have some new modes. One of those being online, where you can unlock alt costumes for characters every month. And I've been keeping up on that. So it's one I'll keep coming back to. Fantastic multiplayer. I actually haven't beat the campaign for how many hours I put into it, I haven't finished the campaign. It's been all in the multiplayer.
Like, haven't you been close to beating the campaign for a while? Or are you
Close, yeah. I think about halfway actually, but I've got like star clubs for several of the characters. I've just put in a lot of time in the just playing golf, you know. Yeah, there you have it. What's your number 4, Micah?
My number 4 is Pokemon Unite.
Oh, my number 4 is a Pokemon game too, but it's not that one. Pokemon Unite didn't make my top 10. I'm sorry, it did not.
Think so.
Did not hook me in like it's hooked you in.
Yeah, well, you just gotta. Well, you gotta.
This is why you don't have.
I was gonna say you gotta find a homie to play it with, but I'm a homie and I play it.
Yeah.
So maybe not.
This is why you don't have very many games on your list, because you're playing all of these
free to
play that like never end. You know, you just have no time for other games.
Yeah, Pokemon Unite's been pretty fun because they add in new Pokemon relatively often, so it shakes things up.
Yeah.
So they've managed to stay pretty fresh because of that.
Well, my number 4 is New Pokemon Snap. New Pokemon Snap was a fantastic sequel to the original. They made some changes to the formula, but for the most part, it really sticks to it, and it's just more. It doesn't feel short. There's like so much more you can do with it. It has a lot more replay value for all the levels, and it's just gorgeous looking. Like, I didn't know a Pokemon game could look so good. I really want the main series to look like that. So there you go. Pokemon Snap. New Pokemon
That'd be
Snap.
Sweet. My number 3 is Spelunky 2.
Number 3? Oh, man.
Yeah, number 3.
I am curious what your other top 2 are.
You should at least know one of them.
I know what one, but what's number 2 if Spelunky 2 is not number 2? Okay.
Spelunky 2 is a lot of fun, but going for some of the achievements and the randomness required to get those was kind of a pain.
You have the same feelings for Spelunky 2 as you do for Jump King. I feel accomplished.
Not quite as strong as I do for Spelunky. Not as Jump King.
For Jump King, yeah.
I hate that game. I hate that game so much.
But it's on my top 10. Number 3 for me is Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. The experience I had playing multiplayer with my wife, this wins it over in my book for all these other games. It's so fun. It's so fun. Great family game. It's just so good. And then Bowser's Fury as a single player experience.
I still gotta play that. Maybe next year when I'm visiting.
Number 2. I'll give my number 2. I'll give my number 2 because it's not super surprise. Spelunky 2 is my number 2 game of the year. The Andros Award second place winner. And I don't know what more I can say about Spelunky that hasn't already been said. It is the first game, but better. If you're going to get just one of them, get the second one. They do a lot of the same stuff. K9 is right. Oh my gosh, K9. I forgot to honorable mention. I forgot to put on my list The Longing. Micah, you have space. Can we put it on your list?
I haven't played it.
I know.
You never know. It might still be his number 1, K9.
It might. It's not. I forgot The Longing, man. I can't believe I forgot to put it on my list. What should I move to take space for it? I guess Fortnite. We'll pull Fortnite off and put The Longing for number 10.
And then honorable mention Fortnite.
Honorable mention Fortnite. It didn't really come out this year. I snuck it on there. Weaseled it on. All right, Micah.
Rocket League didn't come out this year either, but I didn't buy that many games.
Number 2 for Micah. What is your number 2 game?
Number 2, New Pokemon Snap.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's where it went. Okay.
Of course, I couldn't not have that on my list,
dude. I didn't realize that you liked it more than Spelunky 2. That's cool.
I just don't have very many games that I've played that are just really relaxing.
And that one is, yeah.
That hit that spot. And there's also got times when you got to try and get like just the perfect picture of some fast moving Pokemon. So you got to test your reflexes and aim and whatnot. For the most part, you can just relax and chill.
Alrighty. Well, I am almost certain our number one is the same. So let's just give us a unanimous here on 3. We'll say it.
Wait, on 3 or 3 and then go?
1, 2, 3, it.
And then announce. Okay. That's what I was thinking. Okay. You never know.
1, 2, 3, Metroid Dread. I'm like slowed down for you. Metroid Dread is game of the year for both Micah and I. Gets Micah's choice slapped on there, and then down in the corner says, and also Andros Award winner, Metroid Dread. It is a fantastic game. I am not a Metroid guy, okay? I haven't played a whole lot of Metroid prior to this, and it sucked me in, and it was just the right amount of time, I'd say. Like, if it was any longer, I think it would have been a little too long. Although I did kind of want to continue to play with, like, the end level stuff, because you get real powerful, and it's real fun.
Well, you got to go around collecting all the items.
Yeah, I just thought everything about it was really good. Not everything about it was really good. Can I say that the soundtrack wasn't stellar for this? I think everything else on my list had a better soundtrack than Metroid Dread.
I feel like I've kind of mentioned that the soundtrack wasn't that good, but I feel like I need to take that back a little bit. I actually think the soundtrack, I really enjoyed the soundtrack, but I'm just thinking of Metroid Prime. Like, the soundtrack in those games were just so good. Yeah. That this didn't quite live up to my expectations, but it still had some really good music.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad soundtrack. I just don't think it's a standout soundtrack by any means. Everything else on the list has a better soundtrack, in my opinion. Better.
Would you say Spelunky 2 has a better soundtrack?
Yes. Yeah, I like Spelunky 2's music more than I like Metroid Dread.
I'm trying to. I don't remember any music for that. What about Fortnite? I mean, come on. That's not even on your list anymore.
Come on down to the Butter Barn.
Okay, you got me there. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. I was just ready to bust that out as soon. I knew you were gonna pick my list apart. I was like, I got him.
What was the one you added in? The Longing. Does that even have like a soundtrack? Besides
does.
You go into your room and play a little bit.
Oh man, the Longing soundtrack is actually very well designed for the sound design of the game. Maybe that's more sound design because it's not really music; it's more atmospheric, like
ambiance.
I
don't know it.
Which Metroid Dread does very well. Sound design in Metroid Dread is fantastic, and the lighting. Oh, so the visuals and the gameplay take care of any other flaws the game has. It's just that good. Gameplay is tight. Platforming's fantastic. Oh, so good. It's just really good. The one standout soundtrack is the bong, 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 like the robots when you enter into an Emmy area, and it just plays that like really creepy beeping noise.
You're like,
time to run.
Danger.
Yeah. That's, yeah. Yep. Well, that's been our top 10. And Andros's choice is Metroid Dread, Micah's choice is Metroid Dread, and Andros Award is also Metroid Dread. So let's move on here to the final segment of our show, which is the Nintendo Pals Game of the Year. And we have here a big ol' envelope that says PAL Awards GOATY on it, so I know which one it is. And I didn't put the whole game in here. The winner of the PAL Awards Game of the Year goes to Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread.
Correct answer.
Are we surprised? Not at all, but is it deserved? Yes. Fantastic game. And this music, I don't remember this in the game at all, but this is the credits.
Yeah, but I don't particularly remember this. This is like
real nice.
I mean, I think my first run through like my in-game time was like 6 hours and 45 minutes, but it doesn't like include deaths, so it's probably closer to 8, which isn't that long of a game. But I immediately started this over when I beat it, and I immediately started it over again. Well, that's not true. I 100%ed it first, I think, and then I immediately started over, and then I 100%ed it on the hard mode. And then, of course, I had to do the speed runs to unlock all the gallery things, so I started it over again. And just no game has hooked me like that. I felt the need to start it over right away.
I didn't do that. But I played the game, and my mind was absolutely blown. Like I get to the end of the credits, I was like, this was a masterpiece. This was a work of art that I just experienced. And I can't say more. It's so well done. It deserved Game of the Year. That's for sure. Next year, for Next PAL Awards, is going to be an interesting year because we have a lot of games, as you saw on our most anticipated list. A lot of games coming out next year. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is a shoo-in. Every year, Nintendo seems to have that game that's like, that's the one, you know? And Metroid Dread wasn't that. It wasn't that until it released. And then it was like, it's Game of the Year. Because Metroid traditionally is not a series that sells crazy well. It's not it's not Zelda. It's not Mario. But I think this game has brought it to a much larger audience, myself included, to give it the recognition that the series as a whole deserves. That's my speech. My speech for Metroid Dread. That story was so good. How did they make a 2D platformer with such a cool story? Can I just say, like, every cutscene where when you counter in a boss fight, every little cutscene that you get to do is so satisfying. I know it's like just a quick time event essentially, where you're just like hit the button at the right time and then you're like
mash the shoot button.
But
it looks awesome.
It looks so good, and the shoot button is still like fully enabled, right? So
yeah,
it's way more interactive than just a push at the right time. Ugh. And yeah, it's gorgeous cutscenes.
Yeah, it like blew my mind because the first time I countered one and it started the cutscene, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool," and then I was just like randomly hitting buttons, and I realized it was shooting when I hit the shoot button. It took me like a couple seconds to realize I can still shoot during this.
Yeah. And that's where the missiles are real nice. Just light them up with them missiles like a machine gun. Metroid Dread.
Best is when you against, I guess, the main boss, where you hurt them without missiles and you're just like spamming just the regular shot, because I believe you can do, since there's essentially no limit to how fast you can push the button, there you can do more damage with that than firing off the missiles.
I didn't know that. That would have been helpful for the final boss, that's for sure.
My hand was cramping up pretty hard some of those times, especially when I did my no item run and I essentially had no missiles for it.
This felt like a fantastic end to the Metroid saga, and also opens up the door for more games going forward with how they did it. And with that, we have reached the end of the Nintendo PAL Awards. Micah, it's been a fantastic year. I forgot to do. I prepped this here. I prepped a nice like bubble machine to go off when we did the winner, but here it is.
Oh yeah, okay, you showed me that earlier. I don't have anything cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna turn that off before I slip on all this soap that's filling up this room. With that, we've got I've got to give a shout out and a thanks to all of the celebrity cameos that we had on tonight. We'll go. I guess we can go through piece by piece here. A big thanks to Justin Masson, Timothy Off, and Jesse Waldeck from the Nintendo Dads. Check out their stuff. Also, huge thanks to the Johniibo. Check out his TikTok and check out his show that he does with other guests. N64 Josh, the Nintendo Powercast. Those guys as a group are a fantastic bundle of Nintendo podcasters. They're really cool. Also, big thanks to Bill from Nerd Nest. Bill, thanks for coming on and reading off that Nintendo award. Also, shout out to I'm gonna forget everybody here. Dan from RetroLogic. RetroLogic and All N Podcast we started all about the same time, and it's been really fun to see all of our shows grow together. We're like a little family of podcasts. We help each other out, and they did not let us down in this, our hour of need. So thanks so much for doing that for us, Dan. Check out RetroLogic. And also big thanks to Seth. Thanks for coming from the All N Podcast and reading off the Best Indie Award. Could only be the All N crew to give us that. Did I mention everybody? I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I am. I'm forgetting Sean Capri. Thank you so much, Sean, for coming back. He is the nicest guy, even by Canadian standards. So definitely give Sean Capri a listen. The Nintendo Drive with him and Console Kato is a must-listen Nintendo podcast. It's a short show, so you can fit it nicely right after our show. You know, it's like a little after show to our 2-hour-long episodes. You get a nice little 30-minute episode. Am I forgetting anybody else, Michael?
Say Tim?
I did. Yeah, I thanked all the Nintendo dads up at the start.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think that's everybody that came on as a guest. We would have had more guest read-ins for sure. I know we have a lot of friends in the podcasting space, but here's the thing. I planned this so last minute that it's amazing that we got any. I've been planning it for a while, but the actual act of reaching out to people to get the footage on only happened this last week. So it's been a busy time. This break has not been so much free time. It's been lots of break. So there you have it. Thanks to all of our celebrity cameo guests. Hopefully we'll see you guys back next year. And thanks to all of our community for going out and voting. If you would like to join this amazing community, you can check out our Discord. Links to that will be in the description of the podcast episode. Check out the video version of our podcast, which is found on Spotify, YouTube, and Twitch VODs. Those are temporary, but you can always find it on YouTube and Spotify, and maybe other places soon too. We'll see. We'll see where these video podcasts go. But you can also listen to us and like us on your podcast listening app of choice. I should have done all this at the beginning. You know, this is the end of the show. People have already clicked away. But if you're still listening and you haven't left us a 5-star review, please do. Please do. You would make my day. That's right. You'd make Micah's day too. Those 5-star reviews really help us get seen by more people, helps our show to grow. And if you want to be an absolute legend, you just heard that noise? That was a sub noise, okay? That was a Twitch sub. If you want to be an absolute legend, you go out to Twitch, you follow us on Twitch, and you subscribe. Following is free. Following is completely free. You'd be legendary just for doing that. But if you want to be above legendary, what's above legendary? Like Arceus? Arceus level. You want to be an Arceus level, pal? You could be like NeoPrime33, aka Tim, and subscribe to our Twitch channel. Much appreciated. It gets us one step closer to that hot tub stream. that Micah promised.
Yeah, that we are all really looking forward to, and definitely hadn't hoped everyone had forgotten about.
Ah, yes. Okay, Mike, I think that's all the housekeeping items we've got going on. So with that, we'll move to the outro of our show, and that is here.
Second, I was like, do we have another segment of the show we're doing?
No, I'm just playing the outro music way too loud. This has been another year. Welcome to, if you're listening to this, you're already in next year. And I hope that 2022 is an amazing, amazing year for you. You do that thing that you've been wanting to do that you haven't done. Do it. Do it. And it's going to be a great year for Nintendo, that's for sure. So
definitely
stay tuned to the Nintendo Pals podcast and to our YouTube channel, our Twitch streams, all the Twitter, all TikTok, Instagram, all the stuff. Because we're going to be here, we're going to be playing games, we're going to be having a blast. It's going to be a year for Nintendo. And that is my closing remark. Happy New Year to you.
You specifically.
Yep.
You know who you are. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.